Howdy folks! In this video, we're going to walk through the process for placing a public notice. So the first thing I'm going to do is visit column.us/login. I'm actually going to pop over to our demo site so I don't place a notice in a real paper, which would be confusing, but you should visit column.us/login. As a side note, if you haven't already created your Column account, you should visit column.us/register to do so. And we also have a very helpful video guide to registration that you can check out if you would like to see an overview of that process. Now that I'm on the login page, I'll enter my account credentials. I've actually got them populated already, and then I will click Login. I do want to note that if you aren't sure about your password, you can click Forgot, and this will send you a link and an email to reset that. Once you've signed in, you should see any notices that are active right here in this table. Since I'm about to place my first notice, I'll look for that here once I have submitted it. In the bottom left corner, I'm going to click Place Notice. The first step is selecting the state and newspaper where I would like my notice to run. So I will select Pennsylvania and the best newspaper, of course, and then I will click Next. In the second step, I'm going to select my notice type. So depending on your newspaper, you'll see a variety of notice types in this drop-down menu. You should try to be as specific as you can be when selecting your notice type. However, if you don't see a particular type that corresponds with the content of your notice, try choosing Other or Miscellaneous or General. Some newspapers have set up templates for certain notice types, and in those cases, you'll be taken to a questionnaire after this step. Then we'll use your answers from that questionnaire to draft a notice for you to make sure it includes all of the information that is legally required for the given notice type. For notice types that aren't templated, you'll have the opportunity to draft your own notice. After I've selected my notice type, I will click Next, and then I'll select my publication dates. You'll always see the next available publication date appear here, but you can change that if you'd like your notice to begin publication on a different date. To do so, just click on the publication date and choose the preferred date from this calendar. You'll see the dates that the newspaper runs in black. Now, I'd actually like this notice to run for 3 publication dates, so I'm going to click Add More Dates. And again, I can adjust those dates as needed. And once I've got the publication schedule exactly as I want, I'm going to click Next. Okay, we've got all the preliminary steps out of the way, and now we are ready to draft our notice. So I have a couple of options here. If I haven't already written my notice, I can type it directly into the draft box. If I have already prepared the text of the notice in a Word document or a PDF file, I can click the Upload File button here to populate the draft box with the text from that document. For this notice, I'm going to copy and paste the text that I have prepared in a note on my computer. And once that shows in the draft box, I can use these tools above it to format it exactly as I need. So I'm going to go ahead and bold this header. Let's see, I will create a line break here. On the right side of your page, you can see this preview section, and you can actually click on the notice to enlarge it and make sure it looks good. You'll also see your estimated price. I keep getting in the way. So you'll also see your estimated price as well as the number of words, lines, and total column inches in your notice. And if you wish to make your notice more than 1 column wide, you can use this drop-down menu to select the number of columns that you need. So I can select 2. Once everything looks A-OK, I'll click Next. And then I will name my notice. This name doesn't appear in the newspaper. It's just for you to keep track of your notice and distinguish it from any other notices you might place on your Column account. So I will name this Notice of Hearing 10/3/2022 and click Next. And then I'll select whether I should receive the invoice or whether the invoice should be sent to someone else. So this might be someone in your accounting department or perhaps a client that you're working with, etc. And then you'll see that you have options to send that via email as well as via mail. In the final step, I will note how I would like to receive my affidavit. You can choose to receive it via email or to have it mailed to any number of addresses. If you know that your local court will require an affidavit after your notice runs, you may choose to include that address among the recipients here. I'll click Next and then Review and Confirm. And once my proof generates, I will click View Proof to see exactly how my notice will appear in print. So I will click this, and then that proof will appear in a different tab. So once you have reviewed the proof, you should return to this tab. If you caught an error in the proof, you can click Back and then click the previous button a couple of times to return to the drafting stage where you can make any necessary edits, and then click Next to return to the Review and Confirm button. If everything looks good to go when you view your proof, you should go ahead and click Confirm. And that completes the notice placement process. So once my notice has been submitted, I'll see my notice details page. That's right here. This is where I can review all of the details related to my notice and access files like my ad proof, my invoice once the publisher creates it. This is typically within 24 hours of placement, and my affidavit after my notice completes publication.